Okay. Oh, I think this is... It is September... It's my eyes, people. September 25th, 2021. So I have to spend some time in the kitchen here. I've got tomatoes from my yard, you can see. There's some. And there's some. So that's about all that's going to really ripen between now and, I guess you could say, the final harvest. I might get one or two, but outside of that, the rest will be all green tomatoes. And these are outside. Nothing really grew inside the greenhouse, people. Plus, I had a lot of those little midnight snacks and those little sweet 100s, which was a waste of time. Never again. But even the larger ones, just, I don't know. There was just something wrong. Anyway, some of them outside, some of the plants, not all of the plants, but they did okay. So anyway, I'm going to can those up because I've basically been, I don't like saying it, but very, very depressed. And I went on a spending spree, and I spent all the money, people. If I had a husband, my husband would probably be saying, well, what were you thinking? If Uncle John was here, he'd say you did the right thing. Don't worry. We stick together as a family. And if I had a good husband, the husband would say the same thing to me. Because basically what I spent my money on was food stuff. That's it, people. Go into my videos. I had to top it off. I had to top it off with some bigger jars, so I bought 2 more boxes. And the reason I guess you could say I'm in a buying frenzy right now, to my last dollar, because these little buggers that are selling stuff online, they're increasing their prices by, oh God, anywhere from 50% to, 70%. No, 40%. They're increasing their prices by up to almost 40%, if not anywhere between 5 and 10. So it's between 5% up to 40% increase within a period of a month or so. In terms of what you paid for it a month ago, you're going to pay either 10% more or up to 40% more than what you paid a month ago for the same product, okay? And that kind of contributed to my final spending spree. The title of this video is, I think I'm going to call it, Am I a Radical? Am I being a radical, people, when I go off and spend $10,000, quote unquote, on food products? Think about it. That's a little radical, don't you think? And then the next part of my video, in terms of a title, is who's responsible? Who's responsible for me being a radical when it comes to buying $10,000 worth of food products for short term and hopefully, quote unquote, long term food security storage? Who does that? And who's responsible? Well, I did it. And of course, I'm trying to take responsibility. And like I said, if Uncle John was here, he would be saying, I did the right thing. We stick together as a family. You can't go wrong buying food products in the event of an emergency. And being that I live in an emergency almost every day with the propaganda and the just the whole, I don't want to get into it too deep, right? But you know, with what's being pushed upon the general public, right, for whatever reason, obviously a political agenda is a big reason, but there's more factors in there, right? You know, I mean, obviously people, that's going to affect my, I don't want to say demur, but it's going to affect my disposition in life. It's either going to make me feel secure or it's going to make me feel insecure. And in this case, I feel and have been feeling insecure. So for every action, there is a reaction. And for some people, they take to the bottle, right? For other people, they like to buy shoes. I'm just using that as an example. They could have 200 pairs of shoes in their closet and still not be satisfied. I have maybe 20 pairs in my closet that I never get to wear, and it's a real shame that I don't get to go out and wear those beautiful shoes. So, but outside of that, I don't need more shoes, so I don't go off and buy shoes, right? Because I have a closet already full. But there are people that have 200 pairs in their closet, and when they're under stress, right, and their brain is reacting to that stress, I mean, their comfort zone is to go off and buy another 3 pairs of shoes that cost $150 a pair, and they add it to their collection. Well, I bought, and who's responsible for this, people? Because technically, I couldn't afford it, okay? By doing what I did, and I'm being honest here, okay? I've got nothing to hide. Been working on the nonprofit for 21 years. I mean, really, where did it get me? It didn't get me very far in life, okay? But, you know, we're still hanging on that little thread. And besides that point, you know, I mean, in light of what's going on, in light of what I'm hearing, in light of what other people are having to go through in terms of how they're being treated because they say no to an inoculation that is clearly an experiment and a experimental, which is a experimental analog. Okay? I mean, you can't do this, right? You can't go to a movie, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't go, I don't know what else, you can't go to a hockey game, you can't go to a baseball game, you can't go to a wedding, you can't go to a, what is it called? A banquet, like a hall, a dance. You can't go to a bar. But it's interesting how you can go to a church. Why? Well, why would I go to a church? Unless, of course, that church is going to try and convince me to do something that I don't want to do, that is. I can't go everywhere else, but I can go to a church. Okay. Right? As, you know, in other countries, there are already threats being made where people will be denied access to health care because of their decisions, which are clearly not respected. So there's a reaction to all that, people. You know, it's a sink or swim mode. And, I mean, as it is, I'm sinking, but I'm still trying to swim. So, whose fault is it? I mean, obviously it's my fault. I have to take responsibility, and that's why I'm doing this video. But I want people to think about it, though, right? I had one can like this. Can you see? Okay, it was 3 pounds, 4 ounces. It comes from the States. It's extremely hard to buy cheese powder in bulk in Canada. I discovered this last night. I've been looking, and, you know, I haven't been satisfied with anything that I've found. And that's why I ended up buying this at one point, which costed me $49, which I ordered about a month, 2 months ago. Okay, it was $49, people, for 3 pounds. I was going to try it first before I bought more. But because I've been buying a lot of stuff on Amazon, like those jars, for example, what I'm noticing is within a month or so, the price that you paid for those same jars have increased. Now, I don't know if Amazon is doing that based on my spending habits or if that is the sign of the times in terms of you can expect the cost of, I guess you could say, living, right, to rise within a 10% up to a 35, 40% increase in terms of what you paid a month ago for the same product. Because I ordered these last night, right, on panic buying. You know how they say you go to the store and you panic buy? Well, I panic buy it, okay? I spend all my money basically on food and food products. All right? And I'm starting fresh. It is what it is, okay? I'll do it one day at a time. At least I know I got cheese now. At least I know I've got spices to go with my beans and my new bean pots, which didn't really cost me very much money in terms of bean pots. It was like godsend for those bean pots in light of everything. So to me, in my mind, as I was ordering $300 worth of spices, people, to accommodate what's coming in terms of that cost of that inflationary increase, I decided to buy them last night and the night before, whenever I bought them. I did 2 batches full, right? I'm going to show you when I get it all, okay? To compensate for that increase that is almost guaranteed to occur within a month or 2 or 3 from now. So in other words, why would I want to pay $15 for that spice, right? Right? In terms of, like, if I'm paying $15 for it yesterday, why would I want to pay $20 for the same thing in 2 months from now? Because of an out-of-control economy that's clearly being manipulated to price gouge certain individuals within our society under that 2-tiered class system with that lower income, to where we continue to spiral down no matter what we do, right? Because, you know, we don't have the resources to sustain ourselves for any real length of time. And then when we try to bring in food security so that we can at least sustain ourselves to some degree until that final crunch, it wipes us out. This is what I'm trying to say. It wiped me out, right? I had to choose. I had to choose between going off and getting a lawyer for $3,600 Canadian to renew the federal trademark, okay, right now, or try and put it off and try and do it before, I guess, June of next year. Even though in September of next year, I have to pay for a courthouse because of that lawsuit against the provincial government of British Columbia, Canada. I mean, I could have saved $4,000 for that and just slapped down $4,000 for the judge. I wanted to do that, people, but instead I spent $4,000 on food products so that my family, regardless of who my family is in this house, if had access to it in the event that hyperinflation, overinflation, or disappearing of products continues at a rapid rate, right? That's the thing. It was rapid. This product I spent $49 for, okay? Right? That was with delivery, okay? Not even 2 months ago. I was going to order more. I've been looking. I can't find it. When I did find it, it was over $80 a can. So when it went from $50, $49, like $49.99 or whatever it was, to $82 for the cheapest, as some of them as high as $94 for the same product. So I had to order 3 of them last night, people. That's what like I said, like, because I tried to order bulk cheese powder from the States and it was denied. Apparently it couldn't come across the border, right? You know, I don't like buying one, like, technically, like, when I'm doing bulk, I don't, 1 pound, paying out of your nose for 1 pound of cheese powder doesn't make sense when you can buy in bulk and get a little better deal. But if you can't get the bulk even deported into your country, I mean, what does that tell you? And then the only thing you're left with is basically this product, which is now being price gouged, if you're even lucky to find it. That's why I bought 3 last night, because I'm like, damn, I'm going to come back in a month or 2 from now, and it's going to be $105 a can, right, versus $82 now, and you'll be lucky to even find 1 can. So who's responsible for that, people? Because I'm a poor person. Technically, you know, I have to get a headstone for my daughter, Ciera. I haven't gotten a headstone. It's going to cost me $1,500. And I said to myself, and I tell Tisha, like, Ciera would understand. She would be more interested in having food in the house for the kids, right? Versus having a headstone on a plot where, personally, I don't even think her body's in there, people. I really don't. I don't. When I get to court, I'm going to ask for her body to be exhumed. I don't care if it's just dust when they exhume it. Because she wasn't embalmed. It was more like a tomb. It wasn't even a grave. It was something, her casket was put in, I don't even think they put dirt in it, people. That's why they sent us away. Because inside was all cement. It wasn't in the ground. It was in a sarcophagus, a cement sarcophagus. And if there's a tunnel system underneath there, what the fuck? Assuming that they even put the casket and lowered it down. They sent us away. So if you're sending the family away before you even lower the body into the freaking ground that is clearly encased in cement, with a cement lid, well, where's the dirt? No wonder why there was no dirt. I don't know how I veered off on that one. But Ciera would understand why I didn't go and get a headstone for her, people. I never did no fundraisers for Ciera. Okay? I went through the ministry of whatever department it was through the government, and they offered to pay for the plot and the casket. And I get criticized that she was put in a box. You know what? Ciera was a true warrior. Okay? Ciera went through a lot. Ciera is the canary in the coal mine to let people know what the fuck they're up against when it comes to these new and improved inoculations being introduced into mainstream society as if it's the fun thing to do and the normal thing to do and the right thing to do, when we damn well know it will be just a bunch of fucking junkies running around looking for their next fucking fix. Sooner or later, it's going to come down to that, people. And you're going to have a lot of reaction to that action. And not everybody is going to go off and spend 10 grand on food and try and be responsible as they beat themselves up for overdoing it, because ultimately, I'm being a bit of a radical while I do it. But then whose responsibility is that? That is the government's responsibility for putting fear into the public. And it's a justified fear, because if you're paying $50 for the can a month and a half ago, and then it's now $82 on the low ball for the same can, assuming that you can even find it within that month and a half, what, increase? Come on, people. I know, we got food banks, right? Even though people can't really go to food banks anymore. We got Pastor Granny, but, you know, that's not very effective, because they got her outside in the elements working in her fucking driveway. Like, what the hell is that? Right? That's the government's fault. All right? Whose fault is that? That's not Pastor Granny's fault. That's the government's fault. Because they're making it too difficult for people to go off and do the right thing. Or, you know, so anyway, that's what I'm trying to say here is, I'm just, Tammy sent me an email with a video on it. Hold on a minute. I'll tell you in a minute. Just hold on. Okay, I forgot what I was already talking about. Anyway, I'm sure I spent more than $10,000 on food, people. Because one is expensive. Don't forget, I was buying a lot of bulk stuff. Right? I still got things coming in the mail, and then I ended up topping it off with a bunch of spices, knowing that probably within the next 2 months, there's going to be anywhere between a 5% to 30% increase, if not more, on what it is that you're paying for for these spices. I bought pepper. At Nestor's. Okay? It was $25.99. It was the last one that they had. As their shelves are going bare. Okay? Keep this in mind. As their shelves are going bare, people. So I picked it up. I have some in containers from back in the day that are still good, in bags from when we used to be able to go and buy things in bulk. Remember those good old days? But anyway, I'm preparing for what's going to happen in the next anywhere from 1 to 5 years, okay? This will sit for a long, long, long time. However, I may change the container at some point, okay? Because I've got at least 6 of these, which I can put spices in to get them out of the plastic. Again, because some of this stuff is going into long-term food storage. And then I can just give myself those little jars, right? Right? Maybe even smaller than this, depending on what it is. Okay. So anyway. What am I saying? What am I trying to say here? Because whatever is going on, I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. Okay? I don't know to what extremes things are going to go. So, I had to make a decision. Now, these seeds here, I even went off and bought seeds, people. Okay? Because one, you have to remember, I don't get out very often because of my situation in terms of inheriting grandkids and, you know, low income and overworked. And, you know, I can't even go see my so-called quote-unquote family doctor because the last time I seen him, he told me to take him to court. I need to get my eyes checked, people. And don't forget, when I get to the eye specialist, what do they like to do? They like to put a whole bottle of freezing agent in my eyes so that by the time I walk out of their fucking office, I'm spitting out 2 big green gobs of freezing agent from... Right? Because they oversaturate my eyes with their drops. Right? So by the time I get to my car, I'm spitting out 2 big gobs like this of fluorescent green shit. Like, no wonder why my eyes are going on me. So, you know, it's one thing going to your family doctor being targeted. It's another thing when you feel like you're being targeted from your eye specialist to whom you can't see unless you get a referral from your eye doctor, to which you can't really go see your family doctor because he's the one who told you to take him to court because he doesn't want to give you your daughter's medical files, even dead daughter's medical files, that is, even though he knows that ShaMay was dead in the house before her body was illegally transported to the hospital. There's a reaction to all that, people, because that feeling and that trauma, right, it doesn't go away. Because I'm faced with eyesight that's getting worse and worse and worse. And the only reason I can do things effectively is because it goes back to that. It's like riding a bike. You never forget. And you compensate for your inability to see as well as you'd like to see. Because, you know, I can't see very well. I have to wear dollar store glasses. Look, I already lost them. But I can't even wear dollar store glasses outside anymore. And half the time I can't even wear them in the house. So I react to that. I go into that panic mode. And then I take my, I guess you could say, frustrations out on panic buying. And being that I can't really go out to the grocery store very much, although I did pay $25 for this, $25.99 at Nestor's, because that was the only one there, and I can clearly see that their shelving is being, I wouldn't be surprised if that store doesn't shut down within a year, which even limits me even more in terms of being able to go out shopping, because I'm on foot, right, with buggy, right, and a disabled child, right, that can't walk. So So I ended up buying a whole bunch other spices, which I'll show you online, because when I went and quoted this on Amazon, it was the same price. It was $24.99. There you go. So whether I bought it at the grocery store or whether I bought it at Amazon, it's the same thing with these butter things. The price on Amazon is almost the same price as what you're finding in the grocery store. Where the problem comes in, people, is with some products, they either completely disappear or you can't get them coming over the border, like in that bulk cheese powder. Right? Or you're looking at from $49 to $82 up to $95 per can. So I bought 3 more cans knowing that it was just sucking up the money, people. But in this situation, I can say that it's in a 10-can storage container, which has a shelf life in terms of this stuff, at least 10 years without it being opened. So I don't have to worry about, that's how I justified it. I don't have to worry about repackaging it like I did with the powdered milk. And I already said the next time I order whole milk, especially whole milk, I'm going to have them already prepackaged, right? So what? I pay an extra $2 per pound, an extra $2-3 per pound. But that's assuming that milk doesn't increase by 30% within 6 months from now. I might have to resort back to buying it in bulk, assuming that I might be able to even buy it in bulk. Now, whose fault is that? How is it that I'm becoming a radical, R-A-D, right? Rad, I, and then C-A-L, a radical. That's somebody that takes things to the extreme, right? How is it that I'm becoming a radical around, I'm trying to protect at least one part of my future, people. At least one little part where, this little book has inspired me to write my own little book. I just don't know how to market it. I don't know how to print it. I don't know any of that. Not that I'll have money to do that now, because I kind of wasted it on food that I don't technically need. But I didn't want to pay $150 for a can in a year from now or 6 months from now. And at the rate things are going, that's what people are going to end up paying. Right? Maybe it's cheaper in the United States, but right now everything, this kind of stuff has to come from across the border, right? So there's that price gouging. Now these seeds here, I want to keep, because these tomatoes are nice tomatoes. These are my tomatoes. That's what I normally have growing in my greenhouse, but for whatever reason, but the ones that were big in my greenhouse, I don't know, something was wrong. I don't know what the hell happened in there. So, I'm going to take those seeds. I'm going to save those seeds. These ones are nice. These are mine. Look how nice that is. They get big. Right. And then there's this one, which is like a beefsteak. I guess that's what these ones are called. Beefsteak. So these ones are mine too, right? These are my seeds. So I'm going to save these seeds. But yeah, I even bought seeds, people. Like, because I wanted, like, I got old seeds, whatever. I didn't really need seeds, but whatever. Seeds will last a long, long time, right? I'm planting seeds. Some of the things. Anyway, I bought seeds, but obviously I'm saving my own seeds, and I'm just like, Tammy, that's what I was saying. Tammy sent me a video. I'll add the link to this, talking about some group in the downtown East Side area, advocating to give people who struggle with drugs a safe supply of their drug of choice. It's just a pilot project in terms of they paid for the drugs. They got it tested to make sure that there was no, they were pure. They weren't there was no fentanyl and all that other crap, because they're not only putting fentanyl, but they're like, somebody is purposely poisoning the street drug supply on purpose, people. I've been saying it for fucking a long time. And, obviously the government doesn't acknowledge it because it brings in those dead bodies, right? And body parts, and it stimulates the underground economy and provides the public union within certain subsections that are completely fucking morbid to carry on with their snuff movies and all this other shit, right? So I speak from experience, people, okay? And I tried to do a little outreach and try and contact that group to say that, whatever it is that they're trying to do, to me it's just nothing more than a Band-Aid solution. It's not even a Band-Aid solution, because that's giving. I'm not saying don't help people with addiction and making sure that their drug supply is safe, obviously, right? That's the one thing at my little house that I had, that where the mutiny came in, people, was that the drug supply that was going through that place, from what I heard, was more pure in terms of it was not cut as much with fentanyl. I'm pretty sure it was mine, because there was this one and there was this one, and then the mutiny happened. But right, it was mine. It was my little house. The drug supply in that house was a little more pure, right? Because you're dealing with different groups that get their supply from different groups, and so on and so on. The point is that the government is the one that's supposed to be making sure that the drug supply in general is what it is, versus playing lip service and feeding into the, right, it's toxic drugs, and, we really care about the addict, and, they need to go get help, and, we're trying to do this, and we're trying to, it's just bullshit, people. And I told them that. I told that little group, I just sent them a little message, right, and then I sent them another message, and for whatever reason, the message got blocked 3 times. Because I was talking about ShaMay and Ciera, because I speak from experience, right? I try and live a normal life, but I will never live a normal life until my government acknowledges that there's some serious criminal activity going on within the public union sector, who uses public tax dollars and public facilities and public workers to commit heinous crimes against the public, with their sign language encouraging that to carry on as business as usual, while they bring in their controlled opposition groups to keep you away from the fucking truth. So that depresses me. Like, severely depresses me. Because I'd like to get on with my life, not that I ever can, because I've lost my daughters to heinous crimes, that there is no justice. Which puts me into that being a radical. I'm a radical human being, people. It doesn't matter if I'm buying peppercorns and about 15 other spices right along with it, where it's tipping me to the point of maybe bankrupting myself. But how many times has the government tried to bankrupt me already? So, at least I got my spice for my bean pots. That's all. That's how I justify it. And I bought a couple of, when it comes, I'll show you, right, where some of them can be used for medical purposes in terms of just, not a lot, like in terms of you're not trying to be a holistic doctor, but there are certain properties within certain, like cloves and nutmeg and those kind of things, where, if worst case scenario ever really happened and a whole lot of shit just shut down, or was, you were locked out of it, you weren't allowed to, sure, they'll take Amari before they'd help me. In other words, go take me to court, right, in terms of my family doctor telling me to take him to court to get my dead daughter's medical records, knowing that it will be very difficult for me to find another family doctor to be able to get a referral for my eyes, because I can't see a specialist until I get a referral from my family doctor. So I've been already locked out of that, people. Okay? Right? Because, like, I don't want to say petrified, but I'm kind of petrified to go see my family doctor. Plus, he needs to fill out my disability form. Because currently, right now, if an eye specialist was to look at my eyes, they would dub me as legally blind. I know that for a fact because she was already going to do it. But she cut me some slack the last time I seen her. And when was the last time I seen her? 2 years ago or more. Because of what my own personal family doctor has done to me. As he hides information about my dead daughters. Saying that they deserve privacy. Even though he knows, right, the public union sector subgroup of criminals took her dead body to the hospital to have it pillaged. After it was dead. It's a good thing I don't drink, people. Serious. That's my drinking. So what I'm trying to tell you is go off and you better start stocking up on a few things that you like. Even if it puts you in the hole. For a little while. Because there will come a time when you will be denied things. Or you just won't have access to those things. Or if you do, you're going to be paying 30 to 50% more for the same product. And by the time you get around to buying it again, it might be triple the amount, assuming that you can even find it. Okay? Too many people are on that page. Right? And for the ones that are on that page, they know what I'm talking about. So I'm just trying to encourage you to hang in there and don't give up. Okay? Don't forget to stock up on some spices and buy in bulk if you can. Throw in a few of those spices that can be used for medical purposes in low doses if you had to. Okay? Right? So yeah, as I do this completely stressed out, I've burnt out basically, trying to get back up on this bandwagon and not beat myself up for spending 10 grand on food, people. Basically, by the time I add up everything, see those? Those are my seeds. Right? I've been planting this tomato for quite a few years now, and it never fails. So these seeds, you know, like I said, I even bought seeds off of Amazon. Right? Just to diversify the seeds that I already have. Because the way things are going, I don't even know what's going to happen next spring, people. Right? So, I got them now because I'm, you know, I want this little lettuce room going. So, I technically should be outside working on that, but I also have to do this food, so, and I'm really depressed, so last thing I feel like doing right now is bringing out the skill saw, so I'm going to try and get caught up with some of this other stuff in here, like the tomatoes, right, grapes, just, you know, whatever. So now I'm just gathering up my seeds. I know you can't see it, but I'm going to can a couple of more jars of these tomatoes, because that's it. That's all there is. That's all she wrote. And then the green ones, I'll probably end up canning those. I probably won't make no kind of relish or anything like that. I don't think so. Because I already have that kind of stuff. Right? I'm getting ready to hunker down for the winter. Literally. Yeah, for the most part. Right? Hoping that in the end, I'm saving myself money. Because now that I bought all these spices and everything, I got spices from before. So I'm going to gather everything up, put it all together, go through it, repackage it where I think it can be, because I've got things in cans. Just whatever, I don't know, people. Whose fault is this? Right? Now I know preppers can take it to a whole new level. Right? People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on food prepping. I suppose if I had hundreds of thousands of dollars, I would have been one of those types of food preppers. But I spend within my means. Right? Like I said, Ciera would understand the sign of the times and would tell me, like Uncle John, you did the right thing. Don't worry, Mom. What's the headstone gonna get us, really, outside of another dead body in the ground? That's it. And it's not even in the ground, it's in this esophagus, right? Some cement box. Yeah. They didn't put cement in the ground, put the coffin in the ground to throw a bunch of dirt into the cement box and then cover it with a cement lid. Okay, people, they didn't do that, okay? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, look at that. I almost got seeds all over the place. Got them all over my pants. That's how much it upsets me. Right? Makes you wonder really what's in that box, that cement box. Never mind what's in the wood casket, but what's in the cement box. They didn't put a cement box in there to put a casket in there to fill it up with a bunch of dirt and then put a cement lid on it. Now that I'm thinking about it. That's why I want her exhumed, but believe it or not, it's illegal to exhume bodies in British Columbia, Canada, just like it's illegal to get a second independent autopsy. Why is that, people? Why is it illegal to get a second independent autopsy? I didn't even get the report on the first one. And why is it illegal to exhume bodies, to get an independent autopsy on what's left in whatever it was buried in? Now, that thing probably has a trap door. Right. Okay, so I'm just going to keep this video short because, well, I'm kind of having problems with my computer. I have to move on to the Windows 10 computer and get that going and whatever, right? Because my program that I use to edit these videos is compromised. Probably have a virus in my old Windows 7 computer. But besides that point, you can see I'm very depressed, people. I try and shake it off. I really do. Right? You know, like, I'm not depressed that I spent 10 grand on food, because the thing is, it's not like I went to the grocery store and bought junk food. I bought quality, probably a good 75% or more of organic food substances that could be stored for long periods of time as a backup to anything bad that might happen in light of what's been going on for almost 2 years now. Okay? Like I said, some people are flourishing while other people are just barely hanging on or just barely swimming above the water. Okay? So I'm not going to beat myself up for being responsible. a federal trademark name after 21 years. Let's just put it this way. It's either going to happen or it's not. In terms of, I can deal with it in a few months from now. Like, as for Ciera's headstone, honestly, I don't even believe Ciera's body's in that esophagus. I don't. So that could be one reason why I appear to be negligent when it comes to putting a headstone, so that we could identify her. What are those graves called when they have no name on them? Well, Tisha doesn't understand, right? But Ciera would understand, just like Uncle John would understand. Ciera loved food. She loved cooking. She'd be in her glory right now if she was here. Same thing with ShaMay. Right? So, I'm just going to try and just get through this week and finish up with putting things in jars. I got two more cases of jars. So all in all, I bought 4, 8, I bought 5 cases. Pretty sure. I got 1 box with 4 jars with the plastic lids. I wasn't happy with the plastic lids. Then I ordered 2 boxes at the same price, $66 a box, right? With the metal lids, right? And then because I ordered more beans, people, which you haven't seen yet, except for maybe this bag. This is a 15-pound bag. Okay. That's a different kind of bean. And then I ordered, I think, 25 pounds of navy beans. Right? Because, right. So I ordered 2 more boxes of jars with metal lids. Only this time they were coming in at $76 a box. Or $74 or so. Anyway, it was more than 66. That's what I mean. It wasn't even a month. It was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And they increased the price. And then, you know, that puts you into panic mode, right? You go to the grocery store, there's hardly any spices. You grab the last pepper. You go online, you can still find them online, so you end up overspending online. Whose fault is that? Well, obviously it's my fault. I have to take responsibility for that, right? But if the government wasn't trying to implode on the economy, bankrupt millions of households, like literally bankrupt, right? And maybe it'd be different, but it's not. I don't see it getting better. I see it getting worse because people are starting to fight back and the government's fighting back themselves. Right? We just don't see it in Canada as much yet. And we haven't really seen it in the United States yet. But we're starting to see it in other countries. And if we don't see it in Canada, people, we have to ask ourselves why. What is it with the controlling population that runs the economy? I mean, what's the benefit of them not fighting back? Well, they're obviously getting rewarded, right? So, which leaves me at the mercy of, because there's nobody really fighting back yet. The public union sector might, within subsections, might fight back, but they'll be easily replaced with an immigrant population being imported because they've been doing it, people. Like I said, there was a reason why they didn't want ShaMay becoming a nurse and did everything in their power while she was in high school to distract her away from it. because they can control the immigrant nurse coming in. They will do what they want. Like, the government will do what they want with the immigrant nurse, because the immigrant nurses won't fight back. The caregivers of immigrant, don't speak English, that kind of stuff. They won't fight back. Get out of here. What is it? A hornet? Sounds like a hornet, people. Oh, fuck. Oh, look what I got. Where is it? Where is it? If I could see it, it wouldn't be so bad. I hear it, but I don't see it. Voila. Voila. See? Got it! New York. Nurses are stepping off the job. Well, they're actually being fired. They're not stepping down, people. They're standing their ground. And you've got the mayor or the governor or whatever of that state or wherever telling them point blank that they're going to hire immigrants. They're going to change their legislation to make it easy to bring in immigrants on work visas, assuming that they just don't hire people off the fucking street and give them a title like they did with Uncle John, right? I've done it. I've been through it. I've already seen it, right? They will do what they want because the government will say, do this, and they will just do it, people. They don't care who they hurt. Think of Uncle John. Think of ShaMay. Think of Ciera. Think of Amari. Think of our family. I mean, it's so hard to get away from that in terms of being overwhelmed with the depression, right? Because, it's not like, I'm going to end it on this because I don't want to go around in circles, okay? I'm just touching base to let you know that even though I'm outside building rocking stoves and all this other crap, I'm really not doing that well, okay? But I'm not going to beat myself up for trying to, hold back that bankrupt storm or whatever it is that's coming my way because of the corruption in my province on multiple levels, because it just doesn't come from the government. It comes from that ruling class that controls the economy and that doesn't like to take any responsibility for the bullshit that it creates so that it can amass wealth for itself. Okay? Just like a government, right? So, in light of what I've done, I'm going to have to go out in the streets and bring that petition with me, people. Okay? And when winter comes, I'm going to try and set up, work on the computer a bit, right? In terms of the website or ShaMay stuff or whatever it is, okay? There's only so much time in a day, and honest to God, it's getting harder and harder for me to see. That makes me feel depressed too. It's not like I can go run off to my doctor and have this great grand fucking relationship with an idiot that wants to threaten me and say, take me to court because you don't have the right to your daughter's information, even though I agree that she was dead before she left the fucking house. And yeah, I understand that your daughter had her organs illegally harvested, but just don't count on me to say anything about it. Just don't count on me to say anything about it, people. That's what kind of doctors we have in our healthcare system. It's like that through the whole fucking system, just like with Uncle John, just like with ShaMay, just like with Ciera and Amari, okay? I can't say it enough. Who wouldn't be depressed as you're going blind yet? And when I go to the eye specialist, I'm telling you, I say, make sure you don't overdose me with that fucking freezing agent because I can't afford to have my eyes damaged with freezing agent, a whole fucking bottle full. Okay? Where I'm spitting out big, huge gobs. 2 of them onto the road that literally glows green. Think about it. Would you want to go back to the fucking eye doctor? Why? Why? Because I'm white and they're immigrant and they think that they're better than me? What is it? What is it, people? I don't know these fucking people because they're harvesting us. That's why. One way or another, okay? There are subgroups within groups. And the government doesn't do shit about it. They're just making it easier for them to attack us. So in the meantime, I'm like, okay, Judy, just calm down. Right? Here's something you can do. I'm going to end it on this. When I was out and about with the kids, and I picked up those jars and whatever, right? And everybody was being all friendly and money was being passed around and whatever. Okay, I'm like, okay, Judy, you just don't panic. You took care of home. You're good to go, right? I mean, seriously, there's really not much I need to buy now, people. Very little, right? My food is pretty much, all my bases are pretty much covered. So, that gives me now time, hopefully, to play catch up on other things where I let it slide to the wayside. Right? Like paying for the courthouse for that lawsuit. Right? That's a big one. Right? The judge will be, well, why did you buy food? Well, I don't know. Because I have a vulnerable family and I couldn't depend on your kind to fucking make sure that we got through whatever bullshit that you just bring into society in general as a ruling class. Because ultimately we know that we're just on your dinner plate. So what does it matter? Right? That's how I feel about it, and I'm not the only one. And doctors are starting to distinguish the difference between who's human and who's not. There are doctors that are starting to call out that shit, man. They're noticing that not everybody is what they say they are. So anyway, these seeds are my tomato seeds. You can see there's a whole lot of them. So I'm going to dry them up. And being that I paid, I'll show you. Where is it? I've already lost it. Oh my God. And being that I paid, I don't know, $3.99 or $2.99 or whatever it was just for this, and then I had to get it delivered, right? So it costed me, I don't know, $7-8. Didn't make any sense, but I wanted to make sure I had it. Fresh, that is. I figure, well, when I write my little petition, obviously I'm going to be asking for donations for the courthouse people, to pay for the courthouse people, because I spent all my money on food, people. If they make a little donation, I'm going to give them a little packet of tomato seeds as a thank you gift. Now, whether I get to that point or not remains to be seen, honest to God. But that's how depressed I am, and why should I even have to do that? If our governments were competent, why should I even have to do that? If our policing agencies and our coroner services and our hospital freaking facilities were of honorable intent, right, and had ethics and, were like normal functioning human beings within a system, I shouldn't have to do that. But I do. Because I can't send everything back. I have to keep it now. And honestly, it doesn't matter whether I buy the pepper. I don't know, I already lost the pepper. It doesn't matter whether I bought the pepper, the last pepper sitting up at the shelf at Nestor's, or if I bought it on Amazon. Sooner or later, I don't know, if things keep going the way things are going, that pepper is going to cost $100 a freaking container. Right? Assuming that you can even find it. This is what I mean by who controls the economy? Who controls Amazon? Amazon made a lot of money off of me, people. A lot of fucking money. Yeah. Yeah, because of what the government's been doing. Yeah. Yeah. But in terms of price difference, it's been somewhat comparable. Because I've been cross-checking. Right? Because I'm always looking for deals. And it's very easy to buy online because when it's there up in your face, it's like large and it stands out and, you know, you get enticed to buy. And then sometimes when you get it, you're not satisfied with it, right? Because it's not what you thought it was going to be. Or you can find it cheaper elsewhere. But the thing is, whatever it is that you're looking for is slowly but surely disappearing off the shelves. In my area. I mean, in Great Point, where the rich wigs live, or in other areas where all those monster homes are, monster home after 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 monster home, I'm sure those grocery stores are well stocked. That's a lot of people in those monster homes. Okay, single family occupancy monster homes, right? It's not the single family occupancy home anymore. It's the single family monster occupancy homes where they have anywhere between 8 to 25 people living in them. Putting their orders in for fucking organs.